Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bumpkin News. Today's November 25th, 2011, and today we want to look at the issue of man-made global warming. To understand this and a lot of other liberal issues, you have to understand liberal thinking. What liberal thinking consists of is an idea pops into their head and they put it out there immediately. It's fact, and they really won't tolerate any other viewpoints that they consider to be objectionable, based on further research or analysis of the theory that they proposed. I want to give you a couple examples of this. Very prominent examples. One is a former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. She said we have to pass this bill to find out what's in it regarding the Obamacare bill. Now, folks, how can something be wonderful and great if I don't even know what it is? I get a canned goods, and there's no label on it. The label's been torn off, and I tell you, this is the most wonderful thing that you're ever going to encounter in the way of food, and I have no idea what's even in the can. And upon opening the can, we find out that it's past its good date, and that it is a precursor to ptomaine poisoning, and if you ate it, it would make you really sick and maybe kill you. But the fact that I thought it was the greatest thing that you could eat, that was what was taken as fact. Another one is Mr. Obama, when he was running for office, he touted hope and change. The problem was we didn't know, I knew, a lot of conservatives knew, but the liberal thought was hope and change, yahoo, and let's have a good time. This is what it's going to be. Rejoice and jump up and down, but nobody knew what the hope and change was. Just because they put it out there, we have to believe it. And as we see what a disaster it's turned out to be. What happens when the liberals present some theory, anybody that raises any kind of an objection or finds some fact that disagrees and tends to negate that theory, that person is termed a moron, an idiot, a bumpkin, ignorant, not worthy to be part of the discussion. That's the kind of thing that you run into. Man-made global warming falls into this category also, because it's not based in scientific fact or scientific process of evaluation. Science is very strict in its rules of analysis and investigation, and there's a lot of verification that takes place in trying to rule out the variables, or at least take them into account. And something like climate change of this planet is extremely complex. I want to look at a couple things to give you an idea of where we're coming from and why we don't accept the theory that man's activities on the earth are causing global warming, semi-permanent climate change. Back in about 1780, I think it was, we encountered this in a book that we purchased many years ago. I think the book was published about 1924, something like that, a collection of journal articles that were printed way back in those days in the United States. And you can Google this. I'm sure you'll find it on the internet, a more accurate, complete description of what we're about to say. But it's referred to as a dark day. It was a day in New England in, I believe it was 1780, where the atmosphere over New England was completely darkened, and it was so dark during the daytime that citizens, they needed a candle to take with them to walk down the street. And there was a lot of panic and some hysteria. People thought it was the doomsday, the end of the world. And as we read that, I'm talking, this is like back 1980, 85, something like that, I began to think to myself, what caused such a phenomenon to happen? And it's my own personal opinion, it was probably either a massive forest fire in the continental United States or Canada, or a volcanic eruption somewhere. We know that Mount St. Helens, that erupted in the latter part of the last century in Washington State, it spewed tremendous amounts of volcanic ash and noxious gases into the atmosphere, so much so that the ash was evident in New England. And we know that back in those times there were no firefighting units, and wildfires that were generated by lightning out west in the United States had to burn themselves out naturally. So these are phenomena that happen. What kind of contribution did that make to the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere in those days? Today we still have lots of volcanic activity in the world, and I don't know if anybody has tried to gauge how much volume of particulates and noxious gases are emitted from volcanic activity on the Earth, but it's certainly a factor. Also, something else that we've learned in our life study, there are places in the ocean, on the ocean floor, incredibly deep places where there are fissures in the Earth's surface, and there are temperatures there that's superheated, that at that particular place water is instantly vaporized. We're talking about maybe miles down, and tremendous pressure and low temperatures. Those emissions from the Earth are so superheated that that water just instantly vaporizes there. And then we have probably other things that happen in the Earth and on the Earth that are factors. And then we have the solar activity, which if you've studied this, you know that the solar activity tends to run in 11-year cycles. Increased solar flares and emissions of different type of rays, cosmic rays from the sun, and heat. That's another factor that influences weather and conditions on the Earth. But the global warming theorists, they say that these things are irrelevant. They don't matter. They shouldn't be a part of the calculation, because we said it, and so therefore it must be true. We can't tolerate any dissension, any irrational investigation of this issue. And the crowning objection that I would put to man-made global warming is this, and if you want to drive man-made global warming adherents crazy, ask them this question. I've done so, and you can't get a consistent answer, because They don't know. It's just too big for really man to understand. And that is what ended the Ice Age. There were no fossil fuel burning emissions from man's machinery, man's industrial processes, no automobiles. So what caused the end of the Ice Age? What caused the Earth's atmosphere to warm? You know, they have done studies in places like Greenland where they drilled down through the ice and found different layers that would reveal different stages in the climate of the Earth, which brings you to the point, why is Greenland called Greenland if it's mostly covered with ice? Probably back in the days of the Vikings, it was a place that was fairly verdant. So you see, Earth's been subject to a radical change in climate and temperature in the past, and it continues on to this very present day. Now, what's the purpose behind man-made global warming theory? It's about control. We've heard the horror stories that Florida is going to be submerged, and there's going to be a tremendous heat, and all these kind of horror stories about this. And so to correct this, we have to stop burning fossil fuel, which takes us back to a third world country. They would have us riding bicycles and driving little egg beater electric cars, which, by the way, they have to be charged, which uses fossil fuel to generate the electricity, because they would not allow us to use nuclear energy. So this liberal thought system, they want to hamstring America, hamstring the economy, and reduce us down to some third world or less economy and country. And the bottom line is complete control of our lives. But you notice, if you've seen one of the major proponents of this theory, and one of the greatest scientists ever known to mankind, is a man named Al Gore. If you know anything about him, he doesn't really have time to reduce his carbon footprint, and I think that would, if we were ever reduced to what him and others want, while we would be riding our bicycles and rubbing two sticks together to make a fire, he would be coming around his limousine checking us out with his his air conditioning and his jet and all the modern conveniences. But that's not for us. We're the ones that need to make sure that we reduce global warming in our individual lives. Let me know what you think.